This segment of Panther Sports Talk is brought to you by CFU, the power of service.
On last week's show, we introduced you to members of the UNI Women's Golf team, and now it's time to meet the members of the men's golf program. Longtime head coach John Bermel returns a lot of experience from last year's squad, and with the MVC Championships only a couple of weeks away, it's a critical time for the golfers. Here's a look at your 2015 UNI Men's Golf team.
We didn't have a very good fall season, and to come back with the players that we have 4 of our top 5 back from last year. And to play the way we did this fall was a little disappointing. But once you saw what we did coming out, the 304 wasn't anything to write home about. And then coming back with a 292 when Glenn shoots 67. And then better than that the next day, coming back at 7 under par, 281. On a golf course that, is not the most difficult golf course, but it's right out of the snow for us. And 281 got my attention. I think it got everybody's attention. All of a sudden we think we should be back to where we belong. And I can tell in practices and everything, everybody's taking a whole different attitude to this deal now. Par 3, 210 yards, hit a 4-iron in the hole. That's his 5th one, and somebody 21 years old shouldn't have 5 hole-in-ones already. But to his credit, he had a great shot, and he has been fortunate to have 5 hole-in-ones, and better than anything, 2 of them are in competition, which you don't find that very often. Yeah, Dustin Atkinson is right there. Dustin's had not the lowest rounds, but he's been probably the most consistent player we've had in the fall and in the spring. His high rounds aren't real high, and his low rounds just aren't low yet. But he's been pretty consistent, and that's what we need. I like having the low rounds, but I like having somebody that I can count on, and I can count on Dustin. And, so that's the nice part about Dustin. Jake really does need to play well. Eric Sycamore has been another one that he hasn't had real high rounds, but he hasn't had real low rounds. But he's been pretty consistent and working at it. So that it's nice when you have 3 guys that can go low, and then you have your 2 guys that are very, very consistent. Glenn's had a nice season. He played, even when we were playing poorly this fall, Glenn was our lone bright spot, and as you can tell from the beginning of this season, he's carried it right into the spring season. He had a nice tournament out at Prim, especially with that middle 67. I think the most disappointing part is he's had this spring is the last round. He was 2 under with 2 to go and bogeyed both holes. And that's not Glenn. I mean, usually Glenn's making a birdie or 2 birdies to finish it off. And so, Glenn's been a true bright spot for us. Just to have him play so well in the fall, and then he's picked it right up in the spring. Driscoll's, he's playing well. He had a nice last round out at Prim, and then he came back at Indianapolis and had a nice first round there. So we've got enough experience on this men's team that we think we should belong up towards the top of the conference, and things are coming together pretty nicely right now.